You gotta watch out for her danger hair. What's up to all my monkeys out there and similarly minded simians? It's me, Arrogant Ape, and I'm here with Star Circuit, #1. And I'm not going to hide the ball. And I'm going to start off by saying, look, I know I do a lot of positive reviews. I generally have, praise for the books that I review. But I really want this to sink in and mean something when I say it. So let me say with absolute sincerity, this book is the most impressive and professionally produced book I've ever gotten on the indie scene. Pause for effect. It is this good, and if you haven't gotten it already, you are missing out. And I'm not going to say, buy it. Get this book. It's like really good. Let's start off. You can probably see a little bit of reflection of me back there. It's got a reflective quality on the cover on some portions here, but like on the face and the hair. What's that material called? I don't know. It's shiny and it feels smooth, like here on the circuit. Wow. Okay. Yeah. On the letter there, the big circuit. That's cool. So cover's nice enough. Paper's good quality. I really don't feel like there were there was no skimping on this book, right? And beyond the actual production quality, what you've got inside here is like gripping action, like that had me turning page to page. Like, what's next? You have world building that would make Tolkien turn his head. You have just like a brilliantly made comic that understands what comics are. Mr. Catapano, just fantastic job. So let's look at who's actually involved in this beastie. We got created, written, and illustrated by Joe Catapano. Triple threat. Lettered by Weathers. Look, let me just say this right now. I know I can be kind of hard on Weathers sometimes because he letters everything. He's a professional, so if I see a misspelling or, some sort of punctuation error, I point it out because he's great. But this is legitimately his best work right here, from what I've seen, all right? If there's something better, please let me know. You got Kanan White doing the lines. What can be said about Kanan White? He's great. We've got Steve Furcho with the color. Everything pops in here. It feels like it's in world, and it's not like too extravagant and artsy, but it's not too grounded in realism that I get bored out of my brain. Edited by Lee Byron Carver. Look, if there was stuff that sucked in this book, it isn't there now, so thanks, Carver. We get a little Kurtzwell here, and I'm not going to go over that. I'm not going to go over too much of the philosophy, except for perhaps this right here on the back. The road means nothing without you. Right, exactly. What is a road if it's not being used, right? Chapter 1. Boom. Little neon bicycles. Right, we start off here. I'm not going to do the whole story, by the way. You got to read this yourself. Some spoilers ahead. I keep forgetting to do that in my videos anyway. You have here, in a way, the horizon resembles our truest potential. It's endless, but ultimately, it is reachable. Even as a collective, the laws of this reality limit our fragile frames to withstand very little. And I'm reading this thinking like, okay, this is kind of a, sort of generic hero's self-monologue, or maybe, his dad's talking to him, or some Uncle Ben type of character, but then dude removes his helmet and it's just a synth, it's a robot. And then this weird logo comes in, and it's a commercial for the Metric Inc., Metric Incorporated. This is the Metric family. Again, slight spoilers. This book has a lot to do with the Metric family. Shit! This book has a lot to do with the Metric family. Specifically this guy right here. Turns out it's commercial. It kind of fizzes out. And I'm not, I really try to watch the profanity, so I'm not going to read this word for word, but if you can see it, you know, it's there. Basically, these two guys are going back and forth, like saying little things that kind of give you an understanding for the world that they live in. Like this guy's talking about how, oh, those higher ups in those corporations, they don't care about us down here in the barrens or the I don't know what I forget what this is called. They denied my girls access to the Highlands yesterday. History of violence, they said. Okay, so there are certain areas where you can be kept from because there is a recorded and tracked history. We're going to see how that history is recorded, right? Um, so then we've got big old race happening here, and this is just a sample. This is like a very very simple street race going on here. But we can see here the art is solid. Lettering is... I'm going to get to these letters in a second, man. The building design, the world feels lived in. There are cars all over the place. It's not, super bright with the neon, but it looks kind of futuristic and techy. Basically this guy is running this race, and this whole time there's this inner monologue he has in these letters, the Grime District. Okay, so it's called the Grime District. And his computer is telling him, he's giving these little factoids, trying to catch him at the speed. 230 kilometers below Highland city limits. What I really like about his AI is that it has, like, little folder tabs in the windows. Eric Weathers, I know you said this was really challenging, but man, bravissima. I mean, so good, dude. So, orange for internal monologues. This black with the little folder tab for the AI who's giving him constant updates, right? And then white for not speech, because, again, part of the world building, everybody has these implants. That's how those doofuses back here were able to see the commercial. They basically saw it in their heads because of these implants. Everybody's got them, right? It's like the Obama phone of Star Circuit. I got me a Star Circuit phone, and anyway, anybody remember that video? Guy wins the race, and he's telling his AI through, like, thought, switch the scanners to real time. Everybody's like, yeah. And so the AI starts doing scans of these, various women from different area codes and telling them, like, recent activity, fornicated at Razor Hostel. Recent activity, recurring visit to rehabilitation rooms. I mean, wow. How great would this have been? I could have avoided quite a few dumpster fires in my own life. Basically, this guy, and we don't know who it is just yet, he's living his best life, and he's just racing to get money or prizes, as we learn later, but also for the women. He's kind of trying to sleep his way through his life, right? What's really interesting here, again, the world building is solid. She says something like, would you please sign this, right? Yeah, no sweat. Arc connection request from Embryo. Arc connection. So it's called the Arc, right? And basically they can talk to each other without moving their lips, right? They can communicate using their arcs. And again, here come... Son of a gun. I gotta get a bigger car or something, because I can't... I want to get in on... All right, I'm holding this thing up. So we can see these word bubbles, these squared ones with the lines coming straight from people's heads. These are direct communications using the arcs. Basically, it's a private DM with your mind. This comes into play later on. Just solid world building. So these guys come to congratulate him, basically give him this little piece of machinery that we find out is an important part of someone's ride. I'm not going to reveal too much again. Comes into contact with this dude. He calls him bro, and I thought that was just, oh, dude. No, it's his actual brother. We learned that this is one of the metrics, right? And that's his brother. They're estranged for a few reasons. And then he's got his ex-girlfriend with the danger hair, which, you know, it's fine. I will say, like, I don't like the green hair specifically, the shaved head and the colored hair. I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, I could see it going into the future potentially, but I don't know. You guys ever see that movie Her? I had a hipster friend who was like, "Oh, dude, watch Her because the way people dress there, it's the way people will dress in the future." Really? They're gonna dress like old hipsters? I don't think so. I don't think that in 2030, we're going to be sipping awful beer outside of an amoeba while blasting Animal Collective. Sorry, that's not the future. This might be. I don't know. Um, he's got a beef. He's estranging the important people in his life. But frankly, when I get to learn what kind of relationship he has with his dad, it makes sense, which kind of helped with the story too. This character of ours, Atlas. That's right. That's his name, Atlas. He's kind of justified in pushing a few people out of his lives because his dad's trying to get him to accept something that is just bonkers, while he's trying to get his dad to accept something that, frankly, we all have to accept at some point in our lives, right? Atlas is the grown-up one, and everybody else is kind of living in this, like, sad world, where they can avoid. I can't go into spoilers, man. This book's really good. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. Best thing in indie comics right now, Star Circuit. $25 is a steal. I got this in the art book. I didn't see my name in the back, though. Gosh, I just hammered this comic. I'm so sorry. I didn't see myself here. I saw Global Frequency like 8 times. Good on you, man. Yeah, back once, back often, whatever the saying is. Again, so little character moments here, right? The book's really good at setting up character moments, you know, giving you an idea of how different people feel about different things, how they interact with the world around them. In this moment, again, not revealing too much, Atlas basically gets busted out of some form of confinement, right? And he comes to meet what we think is his father, but we see him say, couldn't even come in person, eh? I can hear you and see you as if I was. Just listen, right? And I was like, what? What does that mean? Turns out, you know, Dad's speaking through an android that's using, I don't know, face swap or whatever to make it look like him. But he sees right through it, probably because he can't make the link, you know, with his ARC system. Again, it's a great character moment because we have, I'm really trying not to reveal too much, his dad who has this reliance on synths, you know, to an extent that's disturbing. And his son who's just like, you've lost so much of your humanity, Dad. This is why I have a problem dealing with you. Did I do it? Did I do this without spoilers? Holy cow, this was hard. It's such a fun book. I can't believe I didn't read this earlier. Honestly, I was looking for, man, I freaked out because I thought I darn lost my copy of the Cryptidnals, because I got that Mothman cover and I was like, what? Where is it? Where is it? I was tearing through like long boxes in the garage. I was like, where is it? Hasn't fulfilled yet. So once that, you'll be sure I'll get a review there. But I stumbled across this and was like, oh yeah, I haven't given this a review. People seem to like it. No. People seem to love this book. And I honestly think, regardless of what you're into, that you will too. I'm not a fan of racing things at all. No. I'm not the biggest fan of, like, you know, I mean, I like sci-fi. I don't necessarily like, you know, neon punk, you know, what's it called? Dang it. I'm not necessarily a fan of like cyberpunk, but this book got me. If it were in a comic book shop, I'd be going to a comic book shop. That's a stupid thing. This is what comic book shops should be pushing out. This is what the big two, the kind of quality they should be able to put out. But you know what? A couple guys with a couple thousand printed this quality. I'm a return buyer for sure. This is Great. How many more ways can I say this is awesome? Anyway, thanks.